what you're saying, it's like every door opens another door.
You really need to have an open view field to help everybody
Yeah.
who wants your help.
You're typically one of the top agents in the county. Do you think you're doing something different that consistently put you in the top 1%?
I really do have an intense work ethic.
Another thing I'm seeing in the industry is people will kind of go after a huge market.
I mean, I'm very independent. I just really want to focus on helping my clients.
This is just from my perspective. How do you manage like the volume that you're doing without that?
For me, it's super easy.
Is it?
Yeah. My process is really streamlined.
Yeah.
I've cut out some of the fluff, and I just deal with my customers, which is all I really want to do.
Dave Settgast, welcome to Real Estate Visionaries.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this one. I feel like your name is brought up as it should be many times throughout this market. And
that's scary.
You've just been doing this a while, and I think you have a couple good things to share.
Okay.
First of all, I guess I want to know how you got into real estate. I know a little bit of the background about like your surfing days and whatnot. So, can you tell us maybe a little bit about that and then how that parlayed?
So yeah, I mean, obviously, like with life, things just happen. I always had an interest in it. In fact, when I was in high school, I had an architecture class and actually went to the University of Florida to become an architect. So, I've just had an interest in that for some reason. Ended up, I was a surfer, musician. So 6 years hunched over a drawing board in Gainesville, lost its luster right away. So I did get a 4-year business degree in marketing. But even when I was young, I remember just looking at real estate signs and going, what's that all about? But anyway, my initial career was in the surfing industry. When I was coming up, being a pro surfer didn't really mean any kind of financial security at all.
Were you a pro surfer?
Kind of. I got paid for, I did good in contests. I was the top collegiate men's surfer in the state of Florida all 4 years while I was at school. And so I was pretty good, but I wasn't at the very, very top. And so I got paid for, being in ads and things like that. I got sponsors and all that stuff. But so technically, yes.
Yeah.
But as far as like a pro career, not much of one.
Got it.
But I've competed quite a bit,
That's fun.
And traveled the world for that stuff. But anyway, so I ended up being a sales rep because that was a career.
For who?
And for a lot of different companies. I started under another rep as a sub rep, and then eventually end up, being on my own.
Yeah.
Body glove wetsuits back in the day, Volcom clothing. I pioneered the state of Florida for Volcom clothing.
Oh, wow.
I sold sex wax. A lot of bikinis. I sold ads for Surfer magazine. So I had about a 20-year career as a rep, and then along the way in 1992, I opened up the Groove Tube, which was a surf music fashion store in Indy Atlantic.
Yeah.
And then in 2006, I got approached to sell the store, and it was a leap of faith, but I got my real estate license.
Wow.
And in 2006, right when the music stopped.
Wow.
And headed into the Great Depression or recession.
Sure.
But that's when I got my license. So I'm in my 19th year now, Alex.
Wow.
And
so you sold that company, right? And then directly after you went right into real
estate? Yeah,
estate?
took a month off, took the family to Australia, New Zealand, and I just kind of traveled for a month. And but yeah, when I sold, there was a little bit of a, I stayed on to help with the transition for a little bit, a month or two. And I got my license. And then, June of 2006 was when I officially was hired by South Island Real Estate in Melbourne. Same office I'm in today. So I've only had one office my entire career.
That's amazing. A lot has changed since you first got into real estate, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you first started, the market was starting to go through that shift right then. What were you doing then to kind of build your business? Were you relying solely on your sphere?
No, nobody in my sphere had any money.
Okay.
So you really, I am a longtime local. I grew up in Indy Atlantic. But yeah, I remember the first 6 months of being a full-time realtor, thinking I've never worked harder for nothing in all of my life.
Wow.
I was known as the rental king because I would just help anybody with anything. I really did apply myself. And then I made a couple sales before the end of the year.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, I made like, few $1,000 for that sale, and it kind of dawned on me what it was all about. You know,
you had to build momentum.
I did, and every door opens another door, and that was fully what happened to me. I busted my butt helping somebody find a rental, and they just thought that I was a nice guy and appreciated my efforts and recommended me to someone that had a riverfront house.
Right.
And I ended up, listing it and selling it and then helping them, and they refer. So it really was referral based for me from my activities. And I think one of my early customers, knew me, as a local surfer or whatever.
That's really not how it started.
That's really not the foundation of my business.
Yeah, you were just pushing.
Yeah, I was just working hard.
Yeah, I feel like that story should probably resonate with people because I personally see a lot of agents out here that are newer that just go for kind of the higher end stuff, and they dismiss the rentals. It's like, I'm not going to go work that hard for $300 or $600, right? But what you're saying, it's like every door opens another door.
Well, when you're new, right?
Yeah.
You really need to have an open view field to help everybody who wants your help. And
yeah. So, what did you do? What did you do over these like 20 years that kind of helped you? You're typically one of the top agents in the county. What did you do that you feel like put you in that position? I mean, of course you built the foundation there, but do you think you were doing something different that consistently put you in the top, 1%?
Man, I have been asked this, and it's really hard for me to pinpoint any one thing other than just I really do have an intense work ethic. And I'm just always super honest, like I really have no agenda other than to help.
Right.
And I think that just people pick up on that. I do know this area. I'm a longtime local.
Sure.
I have a 4-year college business degree. I'm able to communicate, effectively. Right. So I think just those combination of things probably is just at the core.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You've built like such a brand of, I guess, in my opinion, Melbourne Beach. When I think about, Dave Settgast and what you're listing, it's Melbourne Beach, Indy Atlantic. Another thing I'm seeing in the industry is people will kind of go after a huge market. They'll say, oh, I have to go all of Brevard, or I have to go all of Florida, or, I'm bi-coastal. And I see you kind of dominating this one area. Do you think there's a key to that?
I mean, that's where I live, and that's where my office has always been, right on Ocean Avenue in Melbourne Beach. I was hired by South Island Real Estate, which was a real blessing. Wendy Murray was the broker there.
Okay.
And it was just, one of the strongest independents in the county as far as offices. But we only had like 25 agents at that time.
Wow.
In the county, I think there was like 1,500 back in 2006. Oh, wow. Now there's 5,000, right?
Yeah.
So, the landscape's changed dramatically. But she was just such an amazing broker, mentor, just very motherly, compassionate, caring, ethical, just had all the attributes that you would want in somebody in that role. By the end of 2007, I was already her top agent.
Wow.
And I've been the number one agent out of that office
So that was year 2?
Every year since. That was year 2.
Wow. Do you remember what you did year 2? Volume?
I don't, but it was probably like 7 or 8 million or something back then.
Yeah, but back then,
I was. My goal was to make $100,000 a year.
Yeah,
that was my life's goal.
Right.
So I've achieved that. So I'm pretty stoked.
That's awesome.
And it was a great group. A lot of respected agents.
Are a lot of those agents that you were working with back then still?
There's a couple of them.
Are there?
Wendy developed a little bit of a health issue. Thankfully, she's fine. She got through it. But that was about 8 years ago. She did sell South Island to Treasure Coast Sotheby's, which was Mike and Kim Thorpe out of Vero. And then a couple years later, One Sotheby's, who I work for now, did swallow up Treasure Coast Sotheby's.
Got it.
So I've been at the same office, like I said, the whole time, but my office has changed. So in those transitions, a couple people, peel off, of course.
Yeah.
And a lot more people have come in, for
I'm
sure.
How do you feel about Sotheby's now? Like, you started at South Island, you called it, right? So how has that transition been for you, going from there to Sotheby's?
If it was going to transition any direction, that was the way to go. Yeah. I mean, I'm very independent. I'm a little bit of a rebel in the machine.
You don't say.
I just really want to focus on helping my clients. I've been blessed to be able to do my business the way I want to do it. And so thankfully I am a top producer, I guess.
Yeah.
So they are smart enough to recognize that if something's not broke, and they work with me on some of these things because I definitely rebelled. Like, I remember the first day, like, some of the other people were probably freaking out.
Really?
They didn't show it, but I think
they're like, who is this guy?
So like, who does he think he is? He doesn't want to do that. What? This is what we all do. And to this day, I'm still like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful for the leadership today,
Absolutely.
to let me have my longer leash and just let me run my business, So I appreciate that.
So you run your business, you say, kind of like a rebel.
I mean, not so much a rebel, I'm not into the whole corporate thing.
Sure. Do you have any kind of team behind you at all that helps you with any of this? No transaction.
My wife does a little bit of the we have a program called App Files through Sotheby's.
Okay.
So I've tasked her with just a couple of the paperwork aspects.
Yeah.
And certainly she freed me up to just do what I do, and just taking care of the home front. And other than that, just relying on office staff for some things.
Okay. Yeah. How do you stay? I guess I see, this is just from my perspective, I'm not in real estate like you are. I see other agents that, no offense to them at all, I just see other agents that are maybe 10, 15 million a year, and they have like a small team, transaction coordinator, and that feels smart to me. I don't know. How do you manage like the volume that you're doing without that?
For me, it's super easy.
Is it?
Yeah. It's, and I know what you're talking about, right? I am definitely a little bit of a unicorn as far as, what I'm able to produce completely on my own, for the most part. And I am a drummer, I'm a musician. So right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, all going at the same time. It's like my brain has no issues at all.
Wow.
Processing, just keeping everything on track.
Yeah.
So it's just really comfortable for me, and it's way easier than dealing with somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just more efficient for me. My process is really streamlined.
Yeah.
I've cut out some of the fluff, and I just deal with my customers, which is all I really want to do.
Right.
And my customers seem to really appreciate that.
They like the hands.
They like
hands
that.
on.
Yeah. So I know that the whole team thing is certainly a trend in the industry. I've thought about it. I've considered an assistant and whatever, but every time I get close to it, I just pull back because I just don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. Last year I did $81 million. I was the number one agent in the county.
Yeah.
And it was a very comfortable year for me. I take like 2 or 3 trips a year. I have an agent that covers for me, Carola Meyerhofer at my office. She's been covering for me for several years now, and she's wonderful, and always there for me. And so even when I'm away, though, it's vacation in parentheses, I do stay connected. That's the nature of this business.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of money at stake for our clients, and they want us to be accessible. So I am extremely accessible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really comfortable for me, Alex, to just do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good answer. Where do you like to vacation?
Well, I still surf, and still surfing at a pretty high level. So, just a couple weeks ago, I was down in Nicaragua, riding 15-foot waves.
Yeah.
And then
tiny.
We did invest in a house up in Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Okay.
So I go up there occasionally, check on
Did that do well through this last crazy hurricane?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
fine. It's but yeah, we like that part of the country. It's really beautiful up there.
Yeah. I love it. So do you do any marketing nowadays?
Yeah, a little bit. It's the there's another agent in my office who shared how much they spend on it, and I'm nowhere near that. You know, I definitely am repeat business, referrals driven. Right. I send out some postcards, for a sale every now and then. I'm very limited on social media, but I definitely do some.
Yeah.
I just it's kind of cringy for me. I don't really like bragging about sales online and stuff like that. I will promote listings,
right.
Active listings to bring attention to them.
Makes sense.
But I don't. And every now and then you got to remind people what you do and that you're still doing it and that you don't suck.
I'm still out here.
I don't suck. So give me a chance. So that's the genesis of me doing anything at all.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What does your day look like right now? I guess not today, but your daily. What does that look like for you?
Just chilling out, man.
Is it?
No, I mean lately it's been a little bit more than I'd probably like.
Yeah.
But no, I've always got plenty to do.
Okay.
I
didn't know if you had like a certain routine. Some people are like, okay, I'm doing the phones for this amount of time, or I'm following up, and you just do.
I just do what
needs to be done.
I do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything in particular that you're trying to do on your listings right now because listings are sitting a little bit longer, as you know, not all of them, but some of them are. Mm-hmm. Is there something else that you're doing that you're kind of helping them move along a little bit faster?
Right now, the key is the term that I heard the other day from our office, and it really resonated with me. I mean, I've known it myself for a while, but precision pricing, that's key.
Yeah.
You cannot build in really any optimism into the pricing structure today. You got to really drill down on it and get it right.
How are you doing that?
Just proper research and knowing the market.
Yeah.
Yep. Knowing the product, knowing the market.
And what does that conversation look like with the seller? Is it difficult?
No, I'm always just super honest, you know? So like I said, so it depends on their situation.
Sure.
Right. So I've, helped somebody. I just had a sale on Tortoise Island. We sold it in a day.
Yeah.
It was priced right. They made money on it. They were happy. Then I'm helping somebody else that they bought it only a couple of years ago at the peak of the market.
Yeah.
Precision pricing today is about what they paid for it, and they put about $100,000 into it. So it's not so pretty. It's not as pleasant of a conversation for them. But they know that I'm being honest. It's not like I don't want them to make money. I do.
Right. Well, you're in it for them.
It's all about them.
Yeah.
So, and I tell them, I go, I'm not opposed if you really want me to overprice it.
Yeah.
I'll take your listing and I'll do it. But, here's what I really think. So you tell me what you want to do.
Yeah. I just saw a video recently. This person was saying, everybody thinks that you have to, like the seller has to list it for less. And he was like, honestly, a lot of sellers are just choosing not to list right now. Because it's like, you don't have to list it for less. You could just not list. Is that a conversation that you're having quite a bit too?
It's not quite a bit. But there's people that are in that boat, especially with interest rates, right?
Right.
They have a 2.5-3% rate, and if they need to get financing on their next home, it's not looking as pretty right now. Right. So that's, I think it's pretty widely known that that's a function of our market right now, where it's actually worked in the current seller's favor. It's suppressing a lot of new inventory.
Yeah.
So, which. Real estate is very simply a function of supply and demand.
It is.
So on the supply side, we haven't seen an explosion of inventory, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever was your broker, what was her name?
Wendy Marie.
Wendy? Was she your main mentor going?
For real estate, yes.
Yeah. Any like major thing that you can pinpoint that she was like a good teacher on for you?
I mean, just being committed to service.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of parlay that into, I was wondering if there was something that you took from that, if there was advice that you would give to agents right now that are struggling in this market. I just saw another video. This agent was like saying how much they personally made in real estate over the last few months, and it was $0. And
sounds like me when I started.
Right. And so I'm wondering, is there like advice that you got from that, or just something that you learned where you could help that agent out right now?
Well, Everything's personal, right? So the one thing that I had in my corner when I got into this business, I had just sold the groove tube. So I wasn't rich. I thought I was at the time,
Right.
but I wasn't. But it gave me enough of a cushion to where I wasn't like stressing super hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stressing because I was working so
you're
hard.
like, I have no more.
And there was nothing really, but I can definitely feel for somebody who maybe didn't have a cushion, and they're making $0 over 4 months, that's tough to sustain. So, this industry does have ebb and flows. So right now it's a little bit of a downtime.
Yep.
That will turn around.
Right.
So if you have the fortitude to hang in there and just keep trying, keep plugging away, learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
They say every no is another step closer to a yes.
Very true.
Yeah. So, just hang in there
Just a
is
story
what
of
I'd say,
perseverance.
as long as you can.
Yeah.
And then if you need to get a second job or something like that, that's one thing about real estate is, you don't have to clock in at 9 to 5 every day,
Right.
And so you could do what you got to do, keep your license, keep trying, but yet feed your family or feed yourself, whatever you got to do.
You think there's an opportunity out there right now with this little bit of a down market? You think there's something, just a good growth opportunity for the next 5 years?
For who?
I guess agent. I'm still talking to that agent.
Agents?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the market, it will pick back up, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of eyeballing, we're in, right now it's almost September 1st, so September and October and holidays are typically not the busiest time anyway,
Right.
in one of the slowest markets I've seen since I've been a realtor.
Wow, that's a kind of a bold statement.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's just me, maybe my wheels are coming off and I just haven't fully accepted it yet. I don't know, but
I don't think that's it.
I don't know. But I think that, it's nothing goes forever.
Yeah.
So I think next year will be better than this year.
Okay. Do you have a mistake that you made in the, in your,
Oh, plenty.
anything that sticks out?
And I'm work in progress as a human being,
As we all are.
So I definitely have come to accept that and try to correct deficiencies or flaws that I see in myself, So just not treating some people the way I would have liked to have, having a little bit of a short fuse. One of the reasons I do my business the way I do, Alex, is I used to own a retail store, right? The group.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I learned from that process that no one cares about your business like you do.
Yeah.
But yet it's hard to accept, like you want them to so bad, that you put undue expectations on them. So I definitely am guilty of that. And so the same thing comes with working with another agent, on a transaction. I have high expectations of that person. Very more often than I would like, they don't meet them, and so that's a little bit of a trigger for me. And sometimes I'm not.
Well, you're trying to take care of your client.
Of course, always. That's forefront of
Priority number one.
everything I do, is the client first. But there's been times where I wasn't the nicest person.
Sure.
And I do have regrets about that in some instances, and would like to,
and
just be a better person to others that I'm working with, even if they're falling short.
Yeah.
Just kind of accept it.
It's almost an opportunity to. I'm assuming maybe it might be a little bit newer agents a lot of times.
A lot of times it's actually experienced agents.
Well, that's a little more frustrating.
It is
still could be a
extremely frustrating. I've
lesson.
had just people straight up lie.
Yeah.
I've had, and that's, like I said, it's like a trigger for me because I can never, ever lie to anybody about anything. I'm just like, it's just so important to who I am as a person.
Right.
And so when someone does that to me, it's like you're kind of dead to me all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, and I believe you because I know we've had different conversations over the years. Like, we started working together years ago, and there's been conversations where it's like, hey, you've told me like I could have done that better with a certain, thing. And I always appreciate that, because a lot of times an agent won't bring something up, and it'll just be, either they lie about it, say everything was great, or it was like the problem was never brought up, and so I never even knew it was a problem to correct, right? And so I think when you're honest about things like that, it honestly helps everybody.
Yeah, sometimes I've been too honest, right? Like, I don't have the best filter.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's part of what I'm trying to work on is, acting instead of reacting.
Sure.
Is something that I've kind of put in my head a little bit, take a step back, and because you're going to get hurt by people. Yeah. In the role that I do, people are going to, people that you thought were your friends are going to, list with somebody else.
Yep.
Agents that you think should be able to perform ethically and efficiently just don't.
Yeah. A lot of things can I guess disappoint you.
Yeah. So I'm work in progress, and I think getting better though finally at being able to manage disappointment better.
Yeah.
And it sucks to say, I got to lower your expectations or whatever. That's kind of a bummer, right? To have to do that, but I guess that's a part of it.
Yeah, as long as you can. On your end, make sure you're doing everything you can to protect your clients and lead them the right way. Yeah, then you're doing what you can. Okay, I mean that's quite a story that you have there. Was there any main year that you remember? Like, I know you said your first 2 years were good. Year 2, you were already a top producer in the brokerage. Was there a year that was like, oh my gosh, this is a great career for me?
No, I was just committed to it. I mean, I didn't view it as a get-rich-quick scheme, or anything like that. It's just, this is my career now, and this is what I'm going to do. And I did find success, after the first 6 months. I started building and doors opening, and just, like I said, I ended up being the top agent there. And, it just kept going, from there. And then, last year was my best year ever.
So at this point, what's your goal moving forward? Are you trying to slow down? Or are you still speeding up?
Yeah, not speeding up anymore.
Not speeding up?
No, I in fact, my wife constantly,
she's like,
you don't have to be number one, and I'm like, I know, but it's nice being there, Yeah. So, because that's not my mission anymore. My mission is really just, it never really was my mission. It just kind of happened.
Just grew into
right?
that.
I never would have dreamed, Alex, that I would be where I am.
Yeah.
When I sold the surf shop and started in real estate.
It's cool reflecting back, though.
Huh?
It's cool reflecting back.
Yeah, no, I'm humbled and humbly proud, and grateful for sure. And but it's been intense. I have worked really, really hard. It just didn't just happen. So
it's not an overnight success.
No.
Yeah.
So again, I'm a little older now, right? So I got my eye on slowing down, honestly. But for now. If any of my customers are watching this, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not. I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I love it. Are you gonna start pushing social media at all, or?
Oh man,
leaving it.
I'll probably stick. I've actually almost slowed down versus pushing harder, but no, it's a function of the marketing campaign, and I don't mind sharing stuff,
Right.
I mean, I love taking pictures, and not like you, and I don't think I ever told you I could have done better. By the way, I might have had. I might have had feedback. I did say that once.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because that's that would have been harsh. So sorry if I ever said something like that. But no, I like general photography though, of like nature and stuff like that, But I'm a sunset guy. I've got a sunset
I see
fetish.
your surfing photos and everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't take those too many, but I'm usually out there.
Yep.
But hopefully somebody gets my picture every now and then surfing.
Yeah.
But
that's fun, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on. If somebody wants to follow you or get in contact with you, what's the best way?
Well, I have my own website.
Okay.
DaveSettgast.com.
Easy enough.
Yeah. Otherwise, Google search, you'll find me.
Yeah.
Or
it's the guy that says number one.
Well, I don't think I'd say that. Well, I mean, I guess probably do every now and then.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, this has been really good.
Good to see you again.
Absolutely.
All right.